Hey Plant Pals, I'm Mike the Head Gardener, and today's quick cooking video is my wife wanted hamburgers for our treat day. And so I'm going to just briefly, not even going to go step by step or anything because it's super simple. I'm just going to briefly show the method I use to make our hamburgers for us. And of course, got the ground beef. I got butter because I'm going to start the onions and the garlic and the peppers and the mushrooms in the pan, and then once they get good, I will slide. I'll patty out the hamburger into patties, and then slide it and cook it amongst the mushrooms because my wife does not like the texture of mushrooms, but she enjoys the flavor that they impart to whatever we're cooking. And so I will cook the hamburger patties in with the mushrooms and the onions, which will give the hamburger flavor, plus my always present beefy onion mushroom soup mix that I mix in. That also gives it that nice beefy taste. And then my seasonings, which is just salt, pepper, and then I call it rib rub, but it's really just a kind of I put on everything. And I got tomato for the top. She's having hamburger buns. I'm just gonna eat the patties on their own without the bun. And so yeah, so it should be good. So I'm going to chop the onions, chop the peppers, and get the garlic and the mushrooms and everything cooking in the pan. I've got to patty out the hamburgers into hamburger portions, and I will be back. Alright, I got the mushrooms cooking down in both these pans. I got the hamburgers patted up, ready to go. I got some raw onion for my wife because she likes raw onions on her burgers, and got sliced up tomato. I sliced the tomatoes up nice and thin, so I like them. And I like to slice the onion thin, even though it's for her. Sometimes I put raw onion on mine, but I prefer the cooked. I got the mushrooms, and so and then sometimes I'll melt Swiss cheese on it, so it'll be like a mushroom Swiss burger, which is really good. It's one of my favorite burgers. But yeah, so okay. Well, anyways, what I'm going to show is the secret, the trick. What I do is it's going to be hard to kind of do one-handed. And so I'll move all the mushrooms to one side. Do it on this side, just so I can show. Now I'll move the pan off the flame. So yeah, it's kind of hard to do one-handed, but I'll just nestle the patties down in, and then I'm gonna take this side, and cover that side, and put more patties there, and then put the extra two patties, one in the middle here, and one in the middle there, and then let them cook. And I'll be back. All right, I got the patties in there. For some reason I thought I made 6 patties, but I just made 4 giant ones. So I got 8 giant patties instead of my usual, usually make it into 10. But, these things happen. But it is a treat day, so, and then I can just make, usually I just make one meal out of each patty. So I'll have meals for the upcoming week. Same for the wife. She eats, like one today, and then she'll eat them for lunches throughout the week. So it's pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna let these cook for probably 15 minutes, and then flip them, and then let them cook another 15 minutes or however long it takes until they're done. And sometimes if I want to cook them faster, it's a little tip. If you're in a hurry to eat, I'll keep the heat high, and I'll put chicken broth or beef broth. Yeah, beef broth rather, on the bottom of the pan, and that will kind of steam cook them, but it doesn't mess with the flavor at all. It doesn't, the burgers still turn out great. But yeah, so I'll be back in like 15 minutes, and I'll flip them, and I'll show you the results. All right, in 15 minutes, flip them to the other side, and I'll let them cook. I did add some water. I didn't have my chicken or beef broth up here, So I just added a little bit of water to it so it wouldn't fry out before the hamburgers got cooked. And I'm going to cook them probably another 10-15 minutes. And then what I'll do is I'll take the patties, because my wife doesn't, again, my wife likes the flavor, but she doesn't like the mushrooms or the cooked mushrooms or onions. So I'm going to take the patties out of the pan, take the mushrooms and stuff, put them into this pan for mine, since mine are bigger hamburgers than hers. Hers are a little bit thinner. And then I will fry her hamburgers. She likes her hamburgers well done too. And I will fry her hamburgers, give them kind of like a hard sear, and then she'll put them on the bun with tomatoes and onions and whatnot, and I'll put mine on a plate with probably maybe some cheese. Haven't decided yet. And I will be back. Alright, so I decided to put Swiss and cheddar cheese on mine. We put some real bacon bits on the top. So the cheese will melt, have little bacon bits in there. Sometimes what I do is I'll fry the bacon in the pan and then take the bacon out and then cook the burgers in the bacon and, the mushrooms and stuff in the bacon grease. And then when I make my burger, I'll put a couple strips of bacon on top. I don't have any bacon in the fridge right now, so I'm just going to use some bacon bits to get that flavor. This is my wife's pan. She likes her burgers, like I said, well done. I'm going to take these patties out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the mushrooms, the hot mushrooms, over the top of this to help them melt. I'll be back. Alright, so I'm going to let the cheese melt on the top of mine. Put it down a little bit. So we can just kind of simmer a little bit. Hers are frying on their own in the pan. And then once that's done, we can assemble a burger for her. And I'll assemble my plate. And we'll be good to go. I'll be back. Alright. So my wife's burger's done. Give her this one. She likes hers, on a bun with the onion and the ketchup, and she likes to have ketchup and mustard on both sides. So that's my wife's delicious burger. Let's set that aside. And I can have mine with the melted cheese and the bacon bits with a side of turnip greens. So mine is keto. And it's still a treat because it's delicious.